we're going to start learning, and I want you to pay attention. So this is our second meeting, and now we're going to start learning about laws of character. Okay. So our body, our body has a soul, and the soul is composed of what's I would say three things. Our character is our behavior, our intellect, and our speech. Okay. We spoke a little bit previously about speech, and now we're going to speak about character today. Okay. So is character a behavior? So it's nice to be a nice person, but it's also a commandment. Okay. There is a commandment, and there are actually 11 commandments that we need to emulate God's ways. God created the world, and he's been kind to us as a creator to give us a beautiful world. So we have to emulate his ways. We have to cling to those who knows him. We have to love one fellow person. We have to love a convert. We have to not hate other people. We have to not rebuke. We have not to embarrass, not to oppress, not to gossip, not to take a vengeance, and not to bear a grudge. Now, each and every man or woman possess many character traits. Each trait is very different and distant from the others. Okay, one type of person is angry all the time, and another person can be very calm, who is never moved to anger. If at all, he will not be angry even for several years. And there is a prideful man and the one who is exceptionally humble. There is a man who is ruled by his appetite, and he will never be satiated from pursuing his desires, whether it's food, money, pleasure, enjoyment. And conversely, the very pure of heart, who does not desire even the little bit of bodily needs. Then you have a greedy person who cannot be satisfied with all the money in the world. And it says in Ecclesiastes, a lover of money never has his fill of money. In contrast, there is the man who puts a check on himself. He is satisfied with even a little, which is not enough for his needs, and he does not bother to pursue and attain what he lacks. There is a miser who torments himself with hunger, gathering his possessions close to himself. Whenever he spends a penny of his own, he does so with great pain. Conversely, there is the guy who is spendthrift, who consciously wastes his entire fortune. All other traits follow the same pattern of contrast. For example, the overly elated and the depressed, the stingy and the free-handed, the cruel and the soft-hearted, the coward and the rash, and the like. Okay, so we explained about character, and between each trait, and there are contrasting traits, at other extreme, there is the intermediate point, which is about equal distance from the others. With regard to all the traits, a man who has some from the beginning of his conception in according with his bodily nature. Some are appropriate to a person's nature and will therefore be acquired more easily than other traits. Some traits he does not have from birth. He may have learned them from others or turned to them on his own. This may have come as a result of his own thoughts or because he heard that this was a proper trait for him, which he ought to attain. The too extreme on other trait is no good. Okay, is not good, and it does not reflect the proper path. Then you have the middle, which is the good. Okay, so imagine yourself at certain different circumstances where you can go either way. You can get angry, or you can ignore and not respond to a person who gets you angry. Okay, or you can control yourself to only express anger towards something which really deserves to be angry at. Okay, now, why is this important? This is important because the way we feel inside on an ongoing chronic basis eventually affect us physically. Okay, so anger doesn't make you hungry, doesn't make you thirsty. Okay, anger just change your mind, the way you think. It affects how you feel for a short period of time when you're angry. And you may think it doesn't really affect my body. It doesn't affect my bio, my heart, my liver, my absorption. Everything seems to be normal because after a few minutes, when the anger went away, I'm the same person. But the truth is that it's not. So this repeated behavior over a long period of time will eventually have a toll on the body. Okay, in medicine, we call it psychosomatic medicine. Okay, psychosomatic meaning psychologically, and somatic means physically. Okay, so originally I'm talking from a more religious perspective, but this is also from a medical perspective. Even in medicine, there are people who don't believe in God, but they just believe about ourselves. They believe that we have a psychology, we have our temper, we have our emotions, that emotions affect the body. Okay? We know, for example, that people who have congestive heart failure, okay, it's a purely physical problem. The heart does not pump well. Okay, somebody after a heart attack, somebody after bypass surgery, okay? Their heart is physically not functioning well. They have a higher risk of depression. And they found that there are molecules that the heart is secreting that goes to the brain and causes the symptoms of depression, okay? And conversely, we know that people who do not have a heart problem but are chronically depressed will have heart problems in the future. So this is an example of a chronic condition, which is called depression, which there are hormones which the brain secretes and will affect your body over a long period of time. So therefore, we can see how a psychological behavior, which is depression, or thoughts, can affect our body, even though we don't see it on an ongoing, instantaneous moment. Okay, so what is the lesson from this? The lesson is that in order for us to prevent disease in the future, we need to control our character and behavior when we are able to. Okay, so this is type of preventive medicine that we should give any person in our office. Obviously, the reason I'm doing it in a group settings is because I don't have the time, half an hour, to spend with each one explaining these things. So therefore, I chose to say I want to have a group lecture where I can explain to you on things which are time consuming but are medically appropriate and medically important. Okay. I spoke for 10 minutes. Anybody want to ask a question or make a comment? You can also say something. I actually, for the first time, have people in my office that are joining the class.
Oh.
Okay.
Is it only, oh, sorry. Is it only related? You gave an example of the heart releasing hormones, correct?
Yes.
Is it only related to the heart, or is there other organs in the body that do this as well?
Other organs in the body also. The intestines are probably the number one hormonal organ in our body is the intestines. And the surrounding, meaning the intestines, the stomach, the duodenum, the pancreas, the gallbladder, they are all related to the intestines. All those are releasing hormones and are affecting us. Okay, so let's just take the idea of food. Okay, so obviously we all talk about healthy food, right? You want to eat healthy, you want to be healthy. So what is healthy food? Spiritually, what is healthy food? Okay, think
Sure.
about it for a minute. Think, I'm gonna let somebody else ask a question, but I want you to think, what is a healthy food spiritually? What do you want to ask?
You mentioned, my question follows up on hers. You mentioned that depression and the heart are related. Do you have a resource for other correlations like that?
Yes,
that you could
yes,
share with us?
yes, yes.
what's the
I'll
reason?
show more. I'll show more. Okay. So what is healthy eating? So before we go into healthy eating, we have to first figure the we have to answer it by answering the question, what is our purpose in life? Okay, so really the title of our lectures is Purpose-Oriented Life and Character Improvement. Okay, so we spoke last time, and I'm just gonna say it again because we have new listeners, new participants. So purpose-oriented life. What is our purpose in life? We have few purposes in life. It all goes under one general category, which is to serve our Creator and to create a civilization within this physical world. Okay, so God created the world, and He wanted to have here a civilization, meaning people who will interact with each other, and men and women should get married, have offsprings, and they should raise their offsprings to do the same, to create a civilization. Now, how do we create a civilization? So there are two aspects. There is one, each one has to improve him or herself, and each one should improve their environment. Okay? So a purpose-oriented life is for us to improve ourselves as respect to knowledge, learn more things, learn new things. That's knowledge. Speech, to be able to speak positive things and good things about the world and about ourselves. And character, to have a good character and to treat others with respectfully and to do acts of goodness and kindness. Now, so if this is our purpose in life, then healthy eating means that we eat for the purpose of doing our above said purpose. Okay, so if we're eating in order so I can have strength, so I can sit and learn, and I should drink enough so I can sit and learn new things, behave better, speak properly, and create a civilization, create a house, go to work, earn money honestly, and share the money with my family and share the money with others who don't have enough, like I do. So if we eat for that purpose, then that is called healthy eating. If we eat only to satisfy our body, then that is unhealthy eating. And the same goes with many other functions, okay? We can exercise to keep our body healthy. And why are we doing the exercise? In order the body should do its jobs, its activities, like we said. If you just work out because you like to work out, and you work out with music and you dance and you do it 3 hours a day, that's overdoing. That's not really what you need to do. Okay, so in every aspect of life, whether it's eating, behavior, there has to be a balance. Okay, there are two extremes which are opposing, and either extreme is no good. Okay, let's choose another example. Somebody who likes to be a brave person. Okay, they like to try new things. You know, like parachuters. You know, they jump from airplanes. And they like the excitement. Okay, that is, even though in our society it's praiseworthy, right? We sometimes praise those who are very brave, but if you look at the individual himself, those actions are not healthy actions, because he's choosing activities which will put him at one point in danger, in life danger. Okay, then you look at the other, so that's not a good thing. Okay, so being brave in our category of speech is not a healthy thing. Then you have another person who is very coward. He will never start anything new. He'll always be shy and will never try any challenge. That's also not good. Okay, So what is good? What is the middle? The middle is to properly try new things, and when you have in mind that my purpose in life is to bring good into the world, and now if you open the news, you don't see good in the world. You don't see good. You hear bad. You hear about wars. You hear about different things, and so this is so either you say, oh, I mean, the world is really bad. The answer is no. The world is not really bad. We have to change the world. We are here to change the world. We cannot just be a passive recipients. We have to be active participants in the world. Okay, so I gave another example. So somebody asked if we can give more example about
Psychosomatic
psychosomatic conditions. So for example, let's talk about endocrine. Whenever we have stress, okay, increase stress, increase inflammation, increase disease. Okay, psychological stress causes an increase in certain hormones. And on the opposite, decreased stress decreases inflammation, decreased stress decreases cortisol and adrenaline. Okay, when we are stressed, we tend to eat more, we tend to have more energy, we tend to be more irritable. That can cause also irritability in our body. That's what's irritable bowel syndrome. Okay, has to do with serotonin, has to do with digestion. So there are a lot of psychosomatic. I mean, this is not what I prepared for today, but God willing, for the future lectures, we're going to prepare more combinations of psychosomatic diseases. Okay, I'm open to hear more comments.
Would you say that spiritual eating is anything involved with doing a mitzvah? Abris, Sudat Shabbat, Amalav Malka. I mean, there's a lot of different areas that we celebrate with food.
Okay, so that's a very good point. So I mean, we have a mixed population of Jews and non-Jews, but I'll say that, okay, so with respect to mitzvahs, with commandments, so yes, when we have, that's a commandment to light Shabbat candles and to keep Shabbat or to keep kosher, those mitzvahs, those commandments connect us with God and bring healing to the body. Okay, so a connection with God has two benefits. One is that we get sustained, God sustains us, so we have the health we are having. We continue to be healthy. In addition, if somebody is not healthy, connection with God is able to bring higher level of healing even not according to nature. Okay, so if according to nature somebody is sick, somebody has a disease, somebody has a problem, if they do a commandment with the purpose in mind, okay, with the purpose in mind that this is to connect with God, to be able to draw a higher level of healing, a higher level of spirituality into the world, then that can bring and will bring a higher level of healing. Now, we are currently in the 3 weeks, which is a difficult 3 weeks, and specifically we are now in the 9 days within the 3 weeks, the 9 days where we are mourning the destruction of the temple. But we are not just mourning the destruction of the temple, but we're actually thinking and hoping for the building of the temple. Okay? So these 3 weeks, even though they are in a way spiritually negative, but we have to bring the positive within it, and that is the hope to build the temple and to have peace in the world and good in the world.
So you would say that eating at a a Jewish event, no matter what it is. It would be a Shabbos meal. It would be a circumcision. If you have the intent, I wouldn't say connecting to God, but I would say maybe probably having an intent that your friend who invited you or your participant along with you should enjoy his simcha, his joyousness at the event.
Right. So if you are eating because this is you're eating for the sake of the mitzvah of the joyous, then that is proper eating.
Okay,
That is
I
called
got it.
proper eating. We're going to learn. I mean, we just started today the first chapter of Hilchot Deot, of the laws of character. There is a link that you can connect that I send. I mean, there are many. I mean, you can learn it by yourself, or I send a specific link that also has videos of rabbis talking about it and explaining it in greater length. I gave more a medical perspective to it. But obviously, there is once a great tzaddik who said that if you eat on Shabbos doesn't make you fat. But it's but if you really want it, if you're really going to insist to eat more and more and more, it's going to make you fat. So, so it depends how you look at things, right? It depends how you look at it.
Okay, I understood the concept now.
Yeah.
There are multiple organs that can do this. There are multiple ways of connecting. Either you think of Hashem or you think of causing joy to your neighbor and your participant. There are various paths that this can be accomplished.
Correct.
Okay.
That's right. God creates a lot of paths to him, to connect with him. And that also has to do with medicine. For example, we all know that there are different kinds of doctors. Okay, there are, there is alternative medicine, there are Chinese medicine, there is homeopathic, there is naturopath, there is acupuncture, there are herbs. I mean, all these paths are all paths that we want to be healthy in order to live in this world. Okay, and God finds and delivers the healing to each person according to their way. There is, I think, a preferred way that God wants that if something is wrong, you have to go to seek a doctor's opinion. Don't try to be your own doctor. Don't try to avoid going to doctors. Okay? There is a problem, you have to come and search for the healing. And the healing, as far as we see nowadays, is coming through Western physicians. Okay, physicians that do treatments, that use medications, that if needs to be, do surgeries, and if there is cancer, they treat with chemotherapy, not to avoid the common treatments that we have nowadays, because it is, and in that vein, if there is a vaccine which can help people, then to use the vaccine. Okay, those are the normal way. And why is that? Because the world, the majority of the world, and what I'm telling you right now is from the Lubavitcher Rebbe, the majority of the world is using medicine and using vaccine in order to benefit themselves. Okay, nobody creates something to kill himself or to kill his family or to kill his environment around him, unless they are sick in their brain. But if somebody is healthy in his brain, whatever they are creating is in order to improve, okay? To create civilization and to improve the world around you. So if somebody creates a vaccine, then it's not just to harm other people. It is really to help the society. If somebody creates a nice car and you buy it, it is in order to help society, okay? And same thing with every other thing, okay? We are using society, we live within society. Jews are a small minority, but the world in large, when they do things, they do it from themselves. They don't do it to harm other people. And therefore, we're allowed to participate, whether it's vaccine, whether it's chemotherapy, whether it's any other new medical treatments. Okay.
Okay.
This is our half an hour class. I'm open for questions. I'm open for comments.
Didn't the Lubavitcher Rebbe say you have to listen to your doctor and you have to go to a doctor?
Yes, I said it.
Okay, just to reinforcing. He also
Yeah.
said get a second opinion.
Right. You can. He also said to get second opinion. If you don't agree or it doesn't fit with you, then you can look for another opinion.
Okay, I got it. Nice lecture. Thank you.
Dr. Levine,
Yes.
sorry if it's dark here where I am. What does this idea of finding balance in the body and also spiritually, anything that you'd want to share if we fall off in a certain way related to that? Or just finding that when we feel one part of our body is off or one part of our system is off in any form?
Okay. So it's a great question, Bernard. Great question. The answer is that it's not easy to do it on your own. I mean, we're doing this educational program to bring the interest in people like you, but it's not going to be easy for you to do it on your own. If you go to my website, torahcure.com, okay, torahcure.com, you're going to find I created 9 emotional extremes. Okay, so you have 9 extremes, so it's 18, but 9 things that you can work on for the beginning. However, a person is close to himself, so you will not always judge yourself properly. So it's better to go to somebody who knows you, a good friend, family member, brother, sister, mother, or a doctor like me, or a rabbi, and ask them, like, where do you think I'm falling in these extremes? Like, where can I improve? Okay? So what I'm trying to create, and it's in process, I haven't completely accomplished it, is to create those extremes and have letters on either side and ideas how to improve and go from extreme to the middle. Okay, so did I answer you? Yes. Okay. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Any other questions? You can also communicate and ask questions on the email that I sent you or WhatsApp. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
See you in 2 weeks. Hopefully by that time, Mashiach will be here. And we'll have
Sorry for being late.
okay. And we can hear better news from everybody. You're welcome. Mary.
Thanks.
You're welcome.